Hello and welcome to the February session of Making Events Easy with myself, Alison Matthews. And this week I'm delighted to be joined by Chris Eva from Sub-Culture Productions in Bangor. Bangor and worldwide, really.
Good. How's it going? Thanks for having me, Alison.
Not a problem, not a problem. And you just want to start, Chris, by telling everybody listening a little bit about your company and how you got started.
Yep, so me and my company is called Sub-Culture Productions. We set up in 2010 after I was lucky enough to get my first TV commission, where I was basically developing a film about hip hop in Northern Ireland. So I was able to get some funding for that. You know, who knew it even existed? So I was able to get some funding for that. We set up in 2010, and since then we've been working in TV and in the local kind of business and kind of corporate sector as well, creating videos for different business and organizations.
Excellent.
So small team, it's pretty much myself and kind of like half a dozen freelancers that I would use on a regular basis. And yeah, that's pretty much kind of how it all started off. And at the minute we're kind of just looking to expand in the different sectors, and we've been working with different organizations doing kind of training videos and some live streaming and stuff like that as well. So we're pivoting with the times too. So
yes,
pretty much how it started for us.
Excellent. Yeah. And I think, you know, since the sort of the lockdown restrictions have been in place, obviously you were out and about a lot more, you know, filming live events. And I know you did part of the Bar on the Best thing on, you know, and programs like that. And then you had to pivot really to helping other people go online and to be on, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So for the first lockdown, things really stopped in both for video production, both in the TV sector and in the corporate sector. So we had to kind of like just look to see how we could pivot to kind of help business go on, and a lot of things went online. So everybody kind of went on Zoom, and people started doing seminars and presentations and things like that all online. So we were able to kind of help with that. We were able to still continue to edit and work with people on an ongoing basis to create video for them. It's just we had to do it all in-house rather than going out and filming them. Since then, things have kind of changed. This kind of the later lockdowns, things tended to open up again, and video production was an essential work. So since then, it's been opening up a bit more. It's still quieter than it was last year, but it's getting busier and busier. So
yes,
I can't complain.
Yes, and I think too that, you know, we all I hate that word. We all had to pivot to survive in a way. And it was funny because it wasn't funny, it was really good that you ran a challenge back in May last year called Lockdown Not Shutdown, because, you know, even if you couldn't get out to, like, you know, physically be with someone and film a video is so important for so many different aspects of your business as well. So it's a thing that you can't stop, that, you know, you can't stop doing. You just have to, you know, be very innovative in the ways that you are shooting and you know, what you're making videos are. Isn't that right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and a lot of businesses seem to have gone down that road as well. And, you know, they're meeting on Zoom for the meetings, and they're using video where they can for training and for getting new messages across, or if there's new kind of laws to do with Brexit, or if there's things like that. So yeah, it's good to see. It's good for us as a production company, and I can just see it getting stronger and stronger. And I suppose it's a good time for people to put things online and kind of create video versions of things that they can use further down the line, because, you know, at the end of the day, if you're, you know, employing people to come and give presentations or to give training in person, and that's going to be a lot more of an expense than if you're paying somebody to do a one-off video for you that you can use that a training video on an ongoing basis. So
yes, totally.
It's proven to help people as well, and it's I suppose in the long run it's going to help businesses and organizations.
No, totally. Because like I have a client who he's franchising part of his business, and for the franchisees coming on board, like we have made video tutorials, and it's to show them how to use tools and things like that. But like we've used Loom and things like that, and, you know, we can use a function where you can see your face as well. And I think there's something so important in that as well, that people still, that they recognize there is a person at the end of these things. It's just not some faceless, you know, help, that it gives a bit of personality across as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, video can be used in lots of different ways. You know, these days it could be, you know, a simple kind of behind the scenes video of, you know, a service that you're doing, or an event
Mhm.
that you're putting on, or you know, a lot nowadays live videos are really popular where people are engaging with different businesses, or different people providing services, um, or you know, maybe even announcements, or kind of revealing new products, or new services, especially now, you know, with COVID and things like that. So
Yes, yeah, yeah.
it's massive, and it's good to see that people are taking the lead, and wanting to do it. You know.
Yes, yeah. And I think too, like when you have a video, and like I have seen examples of videos that you have done for other people, that if you're making a video and that you can repurpose it, and and someday that you maybe have it on LinkedIn, and someday you have it in your, on your YouTube site, and you can like what you could it's very evergreen content as well,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. Like, yeah, so like what we're saying to people as well when we're, you know, talking about projects that we might be working with them on, is that you can basically employ a company to go and shoot for a day, but out of that day filming, you can produce, you know, maybe half a dozen videos.
Yeah.
So it's just about that pre-planning. You
Yes.
know, we always make sure we spend plenty of time with the customer to find out what the message is they want to get across, and to make sure that we can nail it in the best way possible. So
Yes.
it's
And
just making sure you spend that initial time to make sure everybody's on the same page, and that you can deliver something that's going to be, you know, really engaging, and to the point.
yes, yes. There's a message just flashed up there from Sharon McNulty saying your videos are so professional, Chris. So there you go.
Thank you, Shar.
And I think, the reason that I invited you on today as well is because like since really March last year, I've helped a lot of people, you know, sort of create online courses and online events. And to me, like when you're doing something like that, a massive part of that, like what you spoke about before, actually, you have to have a real strategy in place. You have to have a real marketing strategy in place. Okay, this is what I want to do. This is, what I'm going to do with all these videos. And for anybody creating an online event, that not only is there the part where sometimes you need someone to actually make a video for you to deliver the course content, depending on what it is. And it could be, I don't know, if you're baking or doing anything with your hands, it's so much easier to have someone actually shooting you doing that, isn't it? Than, trying to, and I know I have friends who tried to do that at the start. They had tried to set their camera up in the kitchen and had the baking bowl and they had the ingredients, and it was like, it was not easy, and no one cared. And this is the thing, people were like, oh my goodness, kudos to you for trying to do this. Like, you're adapting to the times, because you can't go out and deliver, face-to-face cookery demonstrations.
Well, that's it. I mean, and I always say, like, to people, like, certain things, by all means, shoot it yourself, shoot it on a phone,
Hmm.
you know, have somebody in house shoot it on an SLR. But for
Hmm.
certain things that, you know, if it's like the front of your web page, for example, um, that's like the shop front of your business. So you
Yeah,
don't really
yeah.
want somebody that's shooting a video on it, like handheld mobile phone, and it's maybe not
Hmm.
the most professional looking video on your
Yeah.
website. So whereas if you're, for example, you know, a testimonial, or you know, just, you know, a um, simple statement, or a simple message that you want to get across, fair enough, you could do that on your phone, and you know, put it on Twitter or put it on LinkedIn. But certain things, it's always advisable to kind of hire a professional to do it,
Yes, yes.
especially these
Because
days.
I think too that if you make a video yourself and that you're not happy with it, and that you put it on YouTube, or you have it on your online course, whatever it happens to be, there's always that niggling thing in the back of your head saying, I don't think this is professional enough. And it actually makes you almost reluctant to promote it.
Yeah, and you got to think about it's like, think about it as an investment as well. So
Hmm.
like, if you're, you know, spending £2,000 on a video, for example, you know, think about how many sales you need to make to get that investment back. You know,
Yes,
your
yes,
new product, for example, is for £500, then it only takes you 4 customers to pay off that video. So you always want to be thinking
yes,
kind of in those terms as an investment.
yes,
And like,
yes.
so
And
accessible as well, video, you know, because like with training sessions, you're always having to make sure everybody's in the room at the same time.
yeah,
With a video link, people can watch it in their own time. They can pause it and start it whenever they want to. It's so
yes,
accessible, and when it comes to instructor based training, it's always, you know, you have to nail down the instructor and then make sure people are in the room. So it's
hmm,
such a good way to do it, and easily shared online on emails,
yeah.
and things like that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
proven ever popular now as well, is to add the videos to your emails. I think you're doing that as well. So
Yes.
it seemed to be, giving people more clicks through to their websites and through to
Yes.
the programs by doing that. So that's another thing that
Yes.
we're kind of suggesting to people.
Yes, that you're doing almost like video e-signs, that you're speaking about your content rather than actually writing it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like they've done a lot of research on this, and people engage way more if it's a video rather than text, and you're seeing to consume the information a lot better as well. So
Yes, yeah. And I think too at the moment when like so many people, that you're probably doing that too, that so many people are homeschooling and that you're distracted all the time. When you actually have a video, at least you can pause it and come back to it.
yeah,
It's a wee bit easier to do that than try to be reading something and then someone, being in your ear going, can you help me with such and such?
oh, that's it. Yeah, there's a reason they say that it killed radio.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
it's so engaging, and like there's so many different videos and types of videos that you can do. It's just finding the right one that's going to fit in with your message and your brand, really, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. And you mentioned there about, like the investment side of things, obviously, probably is the big objection the big sort of fear that people have when they think about making a video and they think, oh, I definitely can't afford this. Um, and as you said, it is an investment, it's a long-term investment in your business. But what are the other kind of common fears that you see that people have that kind of it holds them back from making a video or getting someone like you from making a video?
Yeah. So most of the common fears would be like, I won't come across well on camera. I'll
Mhm.
stutter my words and won't get my message across succinctly or in the right way. So I suppose it's about sitting down with them, making sure that you're both on the same page. They know what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be covering, and just telling them that it's a video. It's not a live news piece. Like it doesn't
Yes.
have to be picture perfect the first time. We can shoot several takes before we decide to move on. So as soon as you explain that to people, it puts them at ease. Other things they'd be worried about would be having interruption in the office or in the workplace. So,
Yes.
or they might not think that you know the office might be the right place to film, or they're worried about maybe the presentation of the business.
Mhm.
So again, you would kind of brainstorm where's the best place to film, and what message you want to get across. Do you want to show like the clients that you're working with? Do you want to show your staff members? Do you want to show some of the projects you're working on? And I suppose it's making them feel comfortable
Yes.
on camera before you even kind of lift the camera, and that
Yes.
takes beforehand and showing them some examples and just making them feel confident. And what I always say to people, especially you might find like the CEO of a company is probably the most nervous sometimes when you're interviewing them or
Yes.
you're talking to them, but they're actually the expert in the business. Like they know the business
Yeah.
inside out. So you just have to explain to them as like, listen, you know your stuff. You don't have to keep looking down at your notes. You don't need to keep
Yes.
overthinking things. Just talk freely, and you'll get the message across. And
Yes.
it tends to sink in after a while. Some people after the first couple of questions, and some people, halfway through the interview. But it just depends. And I suppose if you can explain to them that there's no like time limit, there's no stress involved, then
Yeah.
just
It's
setting
okay.
up a relaxed atmosphere and having a conversation on camera, really. And
Yes, yeah. And like I know I was part of Toastmasters years ago, to help people with public speaking. And we used to say, we had to prepare speeches that were maybe 2 or 3 minutes long, and then you built up to longer. And the message we always said to people who were starting out was like, you can get very hung up on what you want to say. And sometimes if you have a script and you sort of learnt it by heart, if you forget a part of it, you're actually thrown off. And people don't know, if you think you're saying something wrong, the audience don't know that, if
yeah,
you are an
exactly.
expert and talking about the subject you love, that's all that's important. And getting that information over to other people, that's the important thing.
Exactly. And people buy from people, so they know
Hmm.
like if there's somebody there and it's too perfect, they'll be like, oh, that's just like a
Yeah.
presentation. That's an actor who's done that or something. But
Yes.
if you're there and you're talking and you're making a few mistakes and there's a few ums in there and like people relate to it, like obviously
Yeah.
we'll cut out whatever we can to make it flow and to make it, as perfect as possible. But at the same time, always tell people don't get too hung up if like there's the odd word here isn't the exact word you're wanting to use.
Yes.
It's just about the general message and that people see you as the, the face of the business, and
Yeah.
That's it, really.
Yeah.
It's just being comfortable.
Yeah, and it's funny, I was joking with someone just before, I was talking to a client just before this call, and I delivered part of an online course in January, and I said to myself that I would, record it myself, just me, without other people, by the end of January, and I haven't done that, and now I'm really regretting that, because from a very vain point of view, I kind of think my hair was, I got my hair cut before Christmas. It was so much nicer in January. It just feels really messy. And it's, I think with women as well, and I find this more with women than I do with men, that there is, and I don't want to say vanity as such, but there is a bigger fear about being visible and actually putting your voice and your face out there.
100%. And that's another thing that we offer. So sometimes we'll offer to actually bring somebody in to do your hair and makeup.
Oh, very good. Very good. I didn't know that.
About that. And
sometimes
you can spend a lot of time, where you're maybe checking that your hair is presentable, or that your makeup's done right, and you're not getting the kind of glare off the lights and stuff like that. So another thing that we can do now is that we can actually provide somebody to come and do your hair and makeup on the day to make sure it's
very good
the way you want it.
That you're happy. Yes.
Yeah,
and you have your Belfast studios as well, don't you?
Yep, so the studio in Belfast that we would have with a green screen setup. So it's a great big space where we can film socially distanced, and then we can put whatever backdrop you want behind you. So at the minute, we're doing a deal every month. The last Friday of the month, we're doing a deal where you can come in and you can shoot a green screen, and shoot 3 green screen videos for a fixed price, and then we can deliver that to you with your kind of branding and whatever slides or content you want in the background. So we do that every last Friday of the month. It's just basically you book a slot, and you come in and we can take it from there. So that's been going quite well. Works well for likes of training videos, or if you've got any deals or products that you're wanting to promote. It's a safe place and a nice place to film. So
yes, and it's quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet. City centre, near Victoria Street, and so we look forward to getting back in there. Being quiet the last month or so, obviously with the lockdown, hasn't been too many people, but looking forward to getting in there as well. And
doing some more of those. I see there's a message from Carly Craig from All Sensory who says, "I wish I could pause my kids right now so I could listen to you guys easier."
That's what the replay's for.
I think that's the thing too. Like, it's funny now, even in my house now, I have 2 dash hounds, and like anything at all outside, they're going crazy. And sometimes even if I'm on a Zoom call and they hear the other voices, then they're barking, going, "Who's in the house? Who's in the house?" So it's like security going, "Who's in our house? What are you doing?" So it is. I think it's very good that you have a space like that that's totally, totally remote, and people can relax and don't have the distractions like that.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it saves a lot of time as well, because it means that we can keep the costs down, so we can actually put people in by the hour, and it keeps the costs down for people to come in, shoot their videos, have whatever, as much content as they want at a very low cost. So it's great.
And have you had? And the great thing is now, of course, that the traffic. There's hardly any traffic, so it's not such a hassle to go to Great Victoria Street anymore. The other thing as well, do you have quite a few clients who want you to make videos, who do have a more, I won't say action-based business, but who maybe have, who are bakers or dog trainers and things like that, who need you to film them in action as such?
In action? Let me see at the minute. Not that I can think of really in action. It tends to be, we always like to use like movement in our shots and when we're filming. So we would use drones, we would use gimbals, and for any of our videos, we always have to have lots of movement, whether it's just showcasing premises or showcasing people kind of doing things. So at the minute we haven't too much in terms of kind of action sports or anything like that. But I'm sure there will be when the summer starts, the clubs open up again.
Oh, totally, totally. Because one of my clients is a dog trainer, and he did an ingenious thing at the start of lockdown, where he'd done sort of he was quite techy really with the camera and like taking photographs, and he had good eye for things like that, and he actually made during lockdown videos about training dogs, and he made it in his own garden.
Right.
And then he had the camera set up with his own dogs. But I always thought that was really nice in a way, because at the very start of lockdown, like, that's all that people had, that you had. If you had dogs, you weren't allowed to go very far, and most people just were training their dogs, in their garden. So it was very realistic of what was happening at the time as well.
Yeah, that's it. And there's a lot of people, again, like during the lockdowns, that were doing the same thing, that were just deciding to pick up a phone or a or like a camera, and just to try to do their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's why not? Good time to practice new skill.
Good time to practice. Good time to practice. I know, because I remember I made a wee video, like when you did your the lockdown challenge. I made a wee video on my phone, and it was sort of, I have imported loads of pictures and other videos I had of me swimming, and and we, like, us as a group in at Loughnane, like, we were really, really missing each other in April, May time. And I remember sharing that, and everybody was texting me back going, "Oh my God," and like people were crying going, "Oh my God, like, I so miss everybody." But we had that memory, we had that memory of better times, times. Yeah. And that is the really powerful thing about videos. And even if people, have wedding videos and things like that made back in the day, that, years later you can sit down and you have the whole atmosphere of everything, don't you?
Well, that's it. And like what you said there it's like a really important point, is like, it doesn't matter who's making your video, whether you're filming it yourself or you're getting a production company in to do it. Most important things is that it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It inspires people or educates people. Like with your video, it was obviously entertaining, watching all you guys swimming in the sea and in the lakes, but at the same time, it's inspiring other people that, oh yeah, we're in lockdown, but times will come when we'll be able to go out swimming again. And that's why you have such engagement with that.
Yes.
You want it to be attention grabbing as well. So, lots of people running and jumping into the sea, quite attention grabbing. So that's why we've got an engaging video. And there's some of the things you want to be thinking about if you are doing your own videos. Think about the sound. Is it going to be playing with sound? Are you going to be just having music, or are you going to be adding captions? Are you going to have a loop video where you're putting it on Instagram and it's looping over and over again? Or there's lots of different creative ways to do these videos if you're making it yourself, thinking about the way to do it.
Yeah, because I saw even on your Facebook page that you have like the sort of the video carousel, if that's what they call it, for your cover page on your Facebook, which is fab, because that that's what your business is about as well. So that's a great way to promote yourself.
Yeah, so like nowadays we've been talking to different businesses about using video for banners. So it's really popular to have, like, on your website, to have a video banner or a video background.
Yes.
And we can create kind of those loops to play either on your website or on the likes of your Facebook banner or your LinkedIn banner. And again, it's just another way to to engage your customers or possible clients. So
yes. Well, I might get you to do that for me, because I've just made my new website. Well, I got Ellie McBride from Calibrated Concepts just made my new website, so that I might be employing your services for that, because I think it's good. It is good, and I think when you're in a service-based business as well, it's all about trust. And especially as a virtual assistant, that people trust you to hand over work to you and sort of be in their business. So if there is a video there that people go, okay, this is Alison and this is who she is.
Yeah,
it's much more personal.
Absolutely. And another thing video is really good at, I mean, there's probably 3 top reasons why you want to be using video today. And the first one would be it attracts way more traffic to your website. So it actually helps with SEO if you have a video with your company name on it and all your different services on it. Website's more likely to reach the front page of Google, because if you've got videos with your heading on it, that's on Google and on YouTube, the more clicks you get on that, it'll be linking to your website. If you have your website in the data, in the description of your videos, it's going to help. And then third one, adding it to your emails like you're already doing. It's just going to give you way more, an increase in click rates and give you way more interaction. So I'd say they're the top 3 at the minute for you.
Yes. Excellent. Well, everybody listening today, if you haven't made a video and you've been hesitating, you know, who to contact Chris, and I'll put up Chris's contact details under this video, which is a video as well, because I can download it afterwards and put it onto YouTube. Which is, you know, that's great. That's the great thing about, you know, all of these tools that we have now, that, you know, it is easy to download videos and put them in other places as well.
Yeah. And what about you, Alice? What do you think would be the most, like, what would be like most common questions that people would ask you about using video whenever you're working with them?
I think a lot of people are very afraid to be visible, full stop, and afraid to even have their face on a video. I was talking to someone last night, and actually we were saying to her that she's in a very creative industry, and that, you know, someone could video her hands if she doesn't want to have her face, you know. But I think the big thing is, yeah, the big thing is sort of getting over the fear of being visible to start off with, and, you know, reminding yourself that if you have knowledge, especially for courses and events like that, if you have knowledge that can help other people, you know, forget about the fear of putting yourself out there, because it's the message, you know, it's the message that's the important thing.
Yeah, and
you know,
that's, I mean, and that's fair. Like, that's a fair point, because that's something that I didn't mention. Like, not everybody wants to appear in their own videos, and that's why we have a good relationship with local voiceover artists and local actors that will appear in your video if you don't want to, and that's just a matter of writing the script. You know, the manager, the owner, or the project manager, and just making sure that whatever is said on the voiceover, or whatever the actor is saying when he's presenting, is the right message. And a lot of people do that. It's I would say I would always try to inspire the people to speak themselves, because I always think people want to see the person of the business, see the face of the business. At the same time, if you feel like you can't deliver the voiceover, or you just aren't happy on camera, use an actor or use a voiceover artist. You'll get a professional video regardless. So good point.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hopefully we'll all be out soon. Taking videos taking videos in the real world with groups of people.
Never know.
You never know. Thank you so much. And for anybody no worries. And I'll put up your details, as I said, below, and the link also to your Friday green screen deal. Very hard to say. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.